Good morning and welcome to Church at Home with Rachael for Tuesday, the 27th of April. If you're in Wainwright or this area, it's a beautiful sunny day, but don't be deceived. It's freezing cold. The wind is up and it's really cold, so make sure you bundle up and wear your mask when you go outside. This morning, I would like to talk to you about focus and being able to really be present to the moment that you're in. Even when it feels like you should be, thinking about the future or thinking about other things and all the things that have to get done, how important it is to really just focus and be present in this moment. I may have mentioned before that part of my daily routine, my daily morning is to take some time, usually about 5 minutes. It's just a quick time of it's sort of like meditation. I say good morning to Jesus, welcome to my day. And I take some time and I close my eyes. And generally speaking, it's sort of like sort of a cross between imagination and meditation. But I have this bench I'm sitting on in my mind's eye, and it seems to be on the Avon River in Stratford, Ontario. I don't know why. The view isn't there, but that's where it seems to be. And often Jesus just sits with me on a park bench. Sometimes we go for a walk. But I allow the meditation to go where it will. I allow God to speak to me as God wishes to speak and try not to impose my own ideas. I catch myself sometimes because I have, I might ask Jesus a question or have a wondering about what my day will look like or my future, or if I'm working a problem in my head, asking for answers. And I need to let go. That first thing in the morning thing isn't about me fixing my life. It's about me being present to Jesus, and that will fix life much better than if I did it by myself. So sometimes we go for a walk. Sometimes we sit and drink coffee together. Jesus has one of these too, Sometimes we just are silent. Sometimes he'll hold my hand. That's what I need. This morning, for some reason, we were sitting on the bench and Jesus pulled out a card table like my grandmother's. Remember back in the 70s and 80s, and we used to people would play cards, and you get those fold-up card tables and the foldable chairs. Well, my grandmother had one that we used to sit at if we were the kids. They got, if the kitchen table was too full, the next older group sat at the card table in the living room. Well, for some reason, that's what popped up today. All of a sudden, there was a card table in front of us and a massive puzzle. I think people in my life have been talking about puzzles lately. I think probably that's where it came from. But there's this massive puzzle. And I've got some stuff I've been thinking about, and I've got some work stuff that's on my mind, and things that I need to get done and not sure how to do them yet. Sort of still working out how that would work. And so I've been puzzling on those things, no pun intended. And so today I felt very much called that Jesus was saying, focus on the puzzle. Just do the task at hand. Just work on the puzzle. And we sat, and for my 5 minutes when my alarm went off, to let me know, sorry, dude's, I have a plastic mat that my chair goes on in the office, and dude's laying on it. His nails are moving around on it. So I was doing this puzzle, just focusing on this puzzle. And it got me thinking about the fact that we are called to be present. Absolutely, we have to think about the future. We have to think about what we're going to make for dinner. We have to thaw something out. We have to go to the grocery store and pick up something. We have to think about how we're going to get our bills paid, what's happening in the future, when do we need to plant our gardens, things like that. But for the most part, we need to be present in the now. And when you're doing a puzzle, when you're putting a puzzle together, it's really hard to do a puzzle if you're distracted. I do lots of things while I have the TV or the radio on, but one of the things I can't do is a puzzle. If I'm doing a puzzle, I have to have no distractions so that I can just pay attention to all the little pieces. Puzzle creations, putting puzzles together, solving puzzles, it's an act that takes really a lot out of us, and that's a good thing. It causes our minds to really think and to figure things out, like creative problem solving. Like, for instance, if you go and pick all of the straight edges out of the box, then you put those together, then you have your frame. And if you put like colored things together, for instance, if you were doing a picture of the ocean and sky with clouds, if you put all the white pieces together for clouds, then you know that those aren't going to go probably in the bottom of your picture, but at the top. And it gives you a sort of a way to break down the parts of the puzzle until they all start to fit together really easily. And then when you get that last one and you fit it right in it, so such feels so good. Putting puzzles together takes our intellect, it takes patience, it takes creativity, it takes imagination, and it takes our focus. It means we need to really look at what we're doing, pay attention to it, not get distracted. It can also be something that can be a frustration. It's not always straightforward. It's not always easy. Sometimes, through no fault of our own, it can become very difficult. When I was about, I'd say, 11 years old, we were living, I think, in Listowel or Hanover, Ontario at the time, and my dad rented a cottage. He was coaching hockey, and the Zims family, the thing was the Zims, they had a cottage in Sauble Beach. Beautiful beach, lots of sand. You can walk for miles into the water, and it never goes past your waist. It's just a beautiful place. And they had a cottage, and we went up there and we took our cousin Tammy with us. Well, Tammy was a cousin, sort of like the way you call a good friend uncle. She was our uncle and aunt's daughter, so we took Tammy with us. And one day her mom and dad were coming to pick her up, and they brought with her her grandmother. And her grandmother had probably Alzheimer's, or she certainly did have dementia. And so my dad had been working on a 5,000 piece puzzle, and it was an ocean scene. So you can just imagine all of this blue. Most of the pieces looked identical, and he had it all put together. He had it almost done. He probably was 3/4 of the way done this puzzle, and he'd gone through with my mom. And you remember the old quart bags of milk? She'd cut off the tops and then wash out the bags and use the bags to put like-colored pieces together to help him sort of know which ones were where. Well, he had been working on this puzzle through all week long. I think this was Thursday, and we got there Saturday morning. And we all went to the beach on Thursday afternoon, and Grandma, my cousin's grandma, stayed at the cottage. And when we got home, she'd helped by cleaning up. And she took all the puzzle pieces apart and put them back in the box. Needless to say, my dad was a little ticked, frustrated, not angry. He understood. But it was really like he'd worked so hard on that puzzle. And it wasn't like, you could just remember parts where they were and put them together. She had taken every single piece, even out of the bags my mom had separated for him, and dumped them all back together in the box. He did do the puzzle again. He did it very quickly because he got it done before we left on Saturday. But just watching his face and seeing how difficult it was for him, he'd worked so hard on that puzzle. And to see all of those pieces put away on him before he was able to finish it. And then, though, it was a challenge. He went back and he finished the puzzle. And it was an incredible, incredible experience in tenacity and stick-to-itiveness and just sheer, hard work. But that puzzle reminds me that we are all called, even when somebody goes ahead and puts all the puzzle pieces away on us, or they pick them all apart and move them around on us, or even sometimes take some of them away and give us extra different puzzle pieces. It's really important that we focus, because we can't, regardless of how difficult the puzzle may be or how difficult it would be when someone else has messed around in it, if we don't focus on it, we can't do anything with it. And I think that's a lesson I need to learn this week anyway, is that I need to not be worried about tomorrow, when the bills will get paid on the 30th of the month, or when it's going to be warm enough to cut the grass, or when we're going to make a run to the dump and get rid of boxes. I need to not worry so much about that, as I need to say a prayer in every moment. Every time I finish a task, I should say a prayer of thanksgiving that God has helped me to finish the task. But then I need to say a prayer and say, okay, God, what task would you have me pick up now? What's the next puzzle? What's the next puzzle piece? So that in each moment, whatever I am doing, I'm not trying to do 3 or 4 different things. Multitasking really doesn't work, because you really only can do one thing at a time. You just may have multiple tasks running at the same time. So I think that's my learning for today. That, Jesus whipped out my grandmother's card table and had this big, beautiful puzzle there. And I need to do that puzzle. I need to sit down with my day and do my puzzle. Now I'm going to swing this camera around so you can see something and see if you can, up there on the wall, if you can see it, there's a red and green map, so to speak. It's like a puzzle. And that's what I use Post-it notes so that everything I have to do during the week or anything that pops up or things I need to remember to do maybe for next week, I write them each one per square on that board, on a Post-it note on the board, and put it up for the appropriate day so that it reminds me of what puzzle I'm working on. And that in itself is sort of like a puzzle, that each thing that I do completes a part of my week or a part of my day. If I don't get one done, then I can move it to the next day. If I get everything done, I can take some stuff from the following day and put it down and work on it today. But it helps to keep me organized, and it helps to keep me grateful. Grateful that God is helping me put this puzzle of my life together, one piece at a time. So today I invite you to find your own puzzle, literally or metaphorically, and start putting it together. Focus only on that. Make yourself a coffee or a cup of tea or something that you like to just keep you warm, and sit down with it and really focus on that one thing, whether it's a puzzle or reading a book or saying a prayer or calling a friend. Don't think about anything else while you're doing that one thing, and allow the Holy Spirit to grant you that peace that comes in knowing that you are focused on something you are called to do, and you are giving it everything you have. You're giving it all you've got. So I pray that you will find a focus puzzle today. And if you want, if you're doing one, take a picture and post it on the Facebook and let me know what you're up to. I appreciate hearing from you, and I'm glad that you are joining me every day. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Our numbers are way too high in the MD of Wainwright. They're not going down. So be safe. Stay home if you have to go out. Wear your mask. But bundle up too, because it's pretty cold out there. I will see you tomorrow for Wednesday at Church at Home with Rachael. God bless everybody.